All right, so you have Al Sharpton meeting with Bernie Sanders, and immediately you start to question whether this is the beginning of a rather seismic movement within the Democratic Party. The African-American community has been almost a monolithic force behind Hillary Clinton. Is this a sign that that might no longer be the case, or might not be as much of a case? Alexis Herman joining us now, the former Labor Secretary of the United States, served under Bill Clinton. Secretary, always good to see you. It's been a while. How are you?
It's been a while. It's always good to be with you, though, Neil.
Thank you very much.
I'm great. Thank you.
All right.
I'm great.
Now, I assume, and in fact, I suspect you're supporting Secretary Clinton, right?
I am supporting Secretary Clinton.
And do you share Madeleine Albright's view that as a woman, there are special places in hell, paraphrasing, if you do not support her?
I think the reality is that anyone who has looked at this campaign knows that we need a tough leader for tough times, and that's Hillary Clinton, whether you're a man or a woman, Neil.
Okay, but you know, what do you make of this African-American community given, I guess, Secretary, that that's a lock for Hillary Clinton, and then out of the blue, Al Sharpton and Bernie Sanders are meeting? What do you make of that?
Well, you know, the reality is Al meets with all of the presidential candidates. He's met with Hillary Clinton, and now he's meeting with Bernie Sanders. I think that is what Al should be doing, talking to all the candidates. And I think the reality is, for African Americans, we all want to believe in a message of hope. And we all want to believe in dreams for a better future. But we also know that those dreams have to be attainable. And that is why I believe you see large numbers of African Americans supporting Hillary Clinton, because she really is the tough leader that we need for these times.
But do you think they're a given, Secretary? By that I mean, having been around Iowa and around, you know, New Hampshire with these field of burn loyalists for the Vermont senator, they feel more of a burn for him, not for Hillary Clinton. What do you think she's doing wrong?
Well, you have to realize this was the first two contests, one caucus, one primary.
I understand.
We have 14 more to go in just the next 3 weeks. And
but it's not an encouraging start, right? Would you worry?
I'm not worried, because I've been around, as you said, for a long time, Neil. We've had two contests in this country. The reality is the next 3 to 4 weeks are going to tell us a lot more about this campaign. And I think the more you hear how we can translate dreams into reality, that's what Hillary Clinton is about. I think you're going to see a very strong and forceful campaign begin to take hold, even more than it already has.
You say a forceful campaign. I was talking to a number of Bernie Sanders loyalist secretaries who fear the Clinton machine is going to come at Bernie Sanders like an anvil on his head, and that they fear for the worst. Even Sanders himself hinting as much in his victory speech last night. What do you think of that?
I think that I'm very proud of how the Democrats have conducted this campaign. We've been respectful. We've stayed on the issues.
Have you really, though? A lot of these debates, I know that you're not your call, but they're held at weekends or after big sporting events. They're in the middle of the night. They're on networks that nobody watches. You know the drill. And I'm just saying, do you think that this is by design to help Hillary Clinton with all these super delegates and everything else? The system is tilted to her, and that's what's getting these field of burn folks burning.
No, I think what people are reacting to is a message of hope. And I think the reality is we all want a better future for our children. But at the end of the day, you've got to take those dreams, Neil. You've got to translate them into reality.
So you don't think that I've heard before, sir, that Sanders isn't the guy to do that, that I think you're trying to say, you and others have said, he's been around a long, long time. If he could do it, he would have done it already, and he can't. Is that the gist of that argument?
You know, there was a great actor, Ossie Davis, you probably remember. He said, yes, it's not the man, it's the plan. It's not the rap, it's the map. And I think as we look at these contests going forward.
That's very good.
Well, I think that's the reality of where we are. And I think the more the American people focus on what's doable, Hillary Clinton will be elected.
But you could support Bernie Sanders, Secretary, if he ended up being the nominee. You would be against the party going outside?
I believe Hillary Clinton will be the nominee of the Democratic Party.
But if it doesn't happen, you could accept Bernie Sanders.
I believe that this message of hope, this message of hope,
but could you accept Bernie Sanders? If he were the nominee, could you accept it?
Neil, my candidate is Hillary Clinton. She goes all the way for the Democratic nomination.
You're blocking, Secretary.
And she becomes the next president.
Are you
You
blocking?
and I always have a great dialogue, Neil.
Secretary, very nice catching up with you. Alexis
you.
Herman served in the Clinton administration, a very, very good labor secretary. Certainly one of the more transparent and open ones that I can remember. Those during the great Clinton years. Alexis Herman.